have tried everything, right? And we've all heard this, especially if we've helped other agents. If you're a sponsor, if you're a broker owner, team leader, you hear this all day long. It is such a lie. Every single time I've ever heard an agent saying that they've tried everything, I say, pull up your log and show me the last time you cold called. If you're struggling in real estate or aren't where you think you are or achieving your potential, this video is going to be honestly very eye-opening for you. The reason why I say that is that I see so many agents that are not where they think they should be based on all the effort they're putting into their business, and they're approaching the solution in the completely wrong way. And what I mean by that is that so many people are not hitting their goals, and what they're doing is instead looking for the next tip, the next trick, the next strategy, the trend, the tutorial, the perfect ad, and that's simply not what you need to do. Success leaves clues, and what we need to do is look at the common traits across all multiple 6 or 7-figure per year agents and say, okay, based on this list, which I'm going to give you in this video, what am I missing? Where am I lacking? Where could I improve? And what do you need to do differently going forward? Because what you'll see is that it's not about the tip, trick, strategy, or tutorial. You can be wildly successful with door knocking, cold calling, Facebook, Google, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It doesn't matter. We need to look at the behaviors, because you never achieve your goals, you achieve your standards and habits. And I'm going to break down the 12 consistent habits and standards that top producing successful agents have that you need to have if you want to achieve success as well. And the one thing that I'm going to say is that the last 3 are exceptionally important. So all of these are critical, but the last 3 are absolute mandatory must. So you want to make sure that you listen to those. So without further ado, let's dive into the consistencies that top producers have that you need to have if you want to get there as well. What's up, guys? My name is Mike Sherrard with eXp Realty. I train thousands of agents every day to scale their business the modern way, leveraging social media. And this is near and dear to my heart because I'm talking based on practice and experience, not based on theory. I see so many agents out there talking about different platforms or different strategies, and they've never actually done it themselves. I've gone from being a broke new agent to making multiple 7 figures per year every single year for the last number of years. And more importantly, I've actually helped multiple agents every single year also hit 7 figures per year. And when I start to look at the habits, all of them have these 12 things in common. So all that you need to do if you're not where you want to be is be honest with yourself as you're listening to this video and say, I'm not doing this. This does need improvement, and I need to get my act together in this area as well. So let's dive into this list so that you can see where the holes in your bucket are so we can start to plug them. Okay, so the first one is going to be discipline. This is insanely important. And what discipline means to me, at least, is following through with the commitments that you make to yourself. All too many people have this perfect schedule, or they block off time to create content, or they say that they're going to actually start launching their YouTube channel or posting on TikTok or revising their personal brand or learning their CRM, whatever it is, and they don't follow through with the commitments. And what you'll see is a consistency amongst top producing agents is that when they say that they're going to do something, they actually do it. They follow through with their commitments. Whereas when you look at agents that are struggling, they say that they've got this big idea, it never comes to fruition. They say they're going to start posting here, they never do it. They say that they've blocked off time, but then they negotiate that time and do something else. And that is one of the number one things that you'll see is that the more often and more frequent you keep your promises to yourself, the quicker you're actually going to build self-confidence. And then this is going to put you on what I like to refer to is as a winning streak. And when you're on a winning streak, that is basically you being able to say, I'm going to do this. You know you're always going to do it. And that allows you to bet on yourself. You can take on more risk. You can take more bullish moves in your business. But it all starts with the core foundation of discipline and making sure that, again, if you have a schedule, you've got a morning routine, you've got a prospecting schedule. If it says prospecting 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., you better be prospecting, right? Not doing what most agents do, which is that finding a distraction, negotiating their time, and doing something else. So discipline is number 1. Number 2 is going to be consistency. Now, consistency is key, but there's a caveat to this, which is that you have to be consistent with the right activities, and you have to be intentional with it, right? So we can look at two different avenues in terms of consistency: prospecting and then things like social media. You can cold call every single day for the rest of your life, but if you just hang up the phone as soon as you get your first no, you're being consistent, but you're not being intentional with the consistency, meaning that you're not going to get very good results. Whereas, like me with door knocking, when I was door knocking, I did not want to leave that doorstep until the door got slammed on my face, until I got told to basically screw off, or if I handled every single objection possible to make sure that I've exhausted every effort to get contact information. I would rather knock or call less people, but get more conversations and more appointments and more information than going for volume like so many other people do. It's the same thing with content on social media. You could be putting out YouTube videos for the rest of your life. You're consistent, but if you're not intentional with it, then unfortunately, you can get no views, no clients. You need to learn how to optimize your YouTube videos. My free training shows you how to do that. If you want that, drop a comment below. But ultimately, you really need to make sure that you are consistent with the right activities, because volume negates luck. And what I mean by that, and just let that sink in for a second, if you overcompensate on volume consistently, then it negates your dependence on having to find luck in order to become successful. It's like, for example, going to the gym. If you go to the gym once a week, well, you're probably going to see slight improvement over the next few years, but it's not going to be very immediate. It's going to be gradual. It's like prospecting once a week. If you go to the gym every single day, 5-7 days a week, well, what's going to happen is probably by the end of the first month, you're going to see a pretty significant difference in your physique, as long as you're eating healthy, right? Being intentional with it. The same thing goes with prospecting or content. If you're consistent with prospecting and you do it 5-7 days a week, you're putting volume in your favor, meaning that you're actually going to see the progress much quicker. Number 3 is delayed gratification. This is one that so many people preach about and they talk about, but they don't actually live it. What I mean by that is that in this instant gratification society, the further you can extend the time horizon for which you're expecting tangible results or something like a closed deal, you will always win. So what I'm referring to is that so many people will look at an activity, door knocking, cold calling, YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and say, well, how long do I need to do this in order to get a deal, a client, an appointment, a lead, whatever? And then somebody's going to tell them 3 months. Well, if they don't get it in 3 months, they're going to be disappointed. Well, if I told you 1 year and you don't get it in 3 months, you wouldn't mind that much. If I told you 5 years, you wouldn't even care. And if I told you to do this for the rest of your career and you just had the mentality that me and all the successful people have, which is that I'm going to do this forever, and as long as I do the right thing consistently forever and I'm disciplined and follow through, then the clients will come inevitably. It's not a matter of if, it's just when. So when you're looking at any of these activities, whether you're starting on a new platform, or you're trying out a new prospecting strategy, go in with the mentality that you're literally going to do this forever. And if you do that without expecting results within a certain time frame, you're never going to be disappointed with the outcome. Number 4 is going to be data-driven. Every single successful agent understands the data and understands the concept that what gets measured gets managed. This is how I've been able to grow my YouTube channel, is that I don't just throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. I look at the data every single week and look at which videos are performing, which videos are not. What can I be doing differently? How can I make sure that I do more of the videos that are doing well and less of the videos that aren't aligning as well with you and the audience here? So every single thing that you do, I talk to top producers all the time. I had Bill Pipes on my YouTube channel. I've had Joshua Smith on my YouTube channel and Brandon Mulrennan, all of these guys. And what you'll see is that they all know their numbers. Every single strong agent knows how many points of contact they need, whether it be Facebook leads or cold calls, in order to get a conversation, in order to get a booked appointment, in order to get a client, in order to get a closed deal, whether it be a listing or a sale. Every single person knows that. But if you don't know the data, how can you actually make calculated decisions in order to grow your business every year? Whereas if you know the data, like all top producers, so an example of this is that if you're coming into the end of the year, you can look back over the last 12 months and say, okay, I did these 10 things this year in order to get business. 3 of them yielded 80% of my business. 7 of them yielded 20% of my business. Well, it's going to be pretty easy to double your business or triple your business into the next year if you dial back on the 7 that didn't work and double down or triple down on the ones that did work. Number 5 is going to be systemize as many things as possible. Now, a lot of people kind of look at systems as a CRM or something like that, which yes, okay, there is a system in a CRM, but there's more than that when it comes to systems. And what I mean is that every single thing that you do, as long as it can be turned into a checklist, is a system. Following up with clients, certain responses to email templates, certain procedures when it comes to closing possession in the checklist from when a client signs a contract to when you ended up getting paid out on commission and then following up. You can look at a system in terms of creating content, building your brand, generating leads, anything that can be turned into a checklist, which is basically everything that you do on repetition, right? If it's a repetitive task and you're doing it more than once, turn it into a checklist. That's now a system or a process, right? So top producers are going to be able to do that because what that allows you to do is find an assistant, introduce a VA that's going to be able to look at that checklist and say, okay, now I know exactly what I need to do. Now you're creating leverage, and that's going to go into the next thing, which is number 6, creating leverage of both your time and your income. When you look at successful agents, they do 2 things, which is leverage of their time, leverage of their income. Leverage of your time comes from outsourcing, right? When you get to the point where you're starting to close deals, you want to reinvest back into your business, not design your own thumbnails, not edit your own videos, maybe even not run your own ads, not be doing graphic work or any of those other activities, or even client follow-up if you have a proper admin. You can start to look at how you can create leverage of your time so that you can calculate your hourly rate. And that's something I encourage everybody to do, is that if you want to be making 6 or 7 figures like myself per year, you're going to be worth about $500 to $1,000 per hour at minimum. Well, if there's a task that I'm doing that I could outsource for less than $500 or $1,000 per hour, then I shouldn't be doing it. I should be spending my time creating more content, better content, and chatting with people that want to partner with us. So ultimately, you need to start looking at where you're allocating your time and are you using it by doing the highest return on time invested activities. Now, when it comes time to leverage of your income, you want to look at how can you generate leads in a way that's scalable. That's why I constantly preach things like YouTube. You want to look at how can you create leverage of your repeat and referral clients to get cheaper deals, because the cheapest deals you'll get are repeat and referral. They're free as long as you maintain those relationships. You also want to look at how are you getting compensated from your brokerage, right? At eXp Realty, you can make more than 100% of your commission because of the ICOM program. Well, if you're at a brokerage that's on a 90-10, 80-20, 70-30, and you can't cap, or you have a higher cap and you can never make 100%, well, you're just literally losing money, right? And top producers want to make as much money as humanly possible for doing the same activities they'll be doing either which way, which is why avenues like getting stock ownership, revenue share, residual income is so important, because you'd be doing it anyway. By saying no to an opportunity like this, you're literally just saying no to free income and thus not doing what successful agents do. Number 7 is going to be investing into themselves. This is a very consistent trait across all strong agents. A lot of people that are struggling look at everything as an expense. If money is going out, they just look at it as that's lost. It's an expense, it's never coming back. Whereas if you look at successful agents, they look at it as an investment. Well, if you put this money in, you should get more out, right? This is where I see all the time with like real estate events. People will say, well, I don't want to spend $3,000, $1,000 for the flight, for the hotel, meals, and then $500 for the ticket or whatever. I can't afford to spend $3,000 or $3,500. Well, that's if you're looking at it as an expense. If you're looking at it as an investment, what if you spend $3,500 and you learn one thing from that event or make one connection that's going to allow you to close one more deal this year? You just got a 2 times or more return on your time invested, right? So you need to look at this because every successful agent has coaching. I spend over $200,000 per year on coaching to learn from people, shorten the learning curve, go straight to the path of success, and avoid wasted time. That's why you see agents enrolling at scale into the Social Agent Academy, my social media program, which is one of the top selling in the entire world for social media for realtors, because you can go straight to the blueprint of exactly what works and avoid all this wasted time trying to figure it out on YouTube, how to do it yourself. Well, if you invest whatever amount, a few $100s or $1,000 into a training program, and then it allows you to save tens of hours or hundreds of hours and close a deal quicker, that's a massive return on your time invested and your income invested. And every top producer invests into themselves and their business. 8 is a really important one. Embracing innovation. One of the things you'll see with agents that struggle or plateau is that they say, okay, AI, it's really not for me. I don't want to do it. It's not here to stay. I'm not going to learn it. Or social media. I hear this from brokers all the time. These old school dinosaur brokers that have no idea what they're talking about saying, well, Mike, social media doesn't work or it's a waste of time. Well, tell that to the agents who've helped make over $1 million in GCI in their first year for free from social media, right? You're saying that it doesn't work because you don't know how to use it, not because others can't learn how to use it and make it work. Embracing innovation is so important because you need, as an entrepreneur, to stay ahead of the curve, ahead of the competition, and have a competitive advantage. And one of the best ways to do that is to embrace new things like technology, like AI, artificial intelligence, like anything that is new and relevant so that you can adopt it to your business and start to leverage it going forward. Number 9, one that I hope people really take to heart, which is becoming the best at a few things. Every strong agent that I've ever met, and the ones that have helped become massively strong agents and successful agents, are all very good at a very select few group of things. They're not amazing at a lot of things, right? If you look at a lot of the agents that are featured on my YouTube channel, they'll do $1 million in GCI just from YouTube, or just from cold calling, or just from TikTok, or just from Instagram, or just from Facebook ads. It's not like they're incredible at every platform, doing every aspect of their business, and that's because you want to not be a jack of all trades, you want to be a master of one or two or three. And every successful agent that I know will eventually outsource, creating leverage, outsource the things that they're not great at, but stick to the things that got them there. So you need to start to realize that chasing all these shiny pennies and being distracted does not serve you. It hurts you. You need to find one or two things that you want to be the best at, go all in on them, and if you become the best at anything, you're going to make 6-7 figures per year. Okay, so coming down to the last 3, number 10 is going to be associating with other winners. Winners associated with winners, losers associated with losers. There's no better way to say it, and if that offends somebody, then unfortunately it is what it is. If you're not where you want to be in your business, look at who you're surrounding yourself with. Are you surrounding yourself with other agents that are not where they want to be and struggling and complaining about the market, complaining about their broker, their sponsor, the brokerage, the industry, whatever the situation is? Or are you hanging out with winners that are saying, this is the best time to be in real estate, there's little to no competition, this is where we separate the gap, this is where we double down and take market share? Those are the ones you want to be associated with. So when you look at the people that I spend the most time with, they're all winning. They're all crushing it. They all have a positive mindset. They don't complain about anything. They win, they grow, they build, and they stay positive all the time. And that's why so many agents are partnering with my group at the Wolf Pack at eXp Realty, because that's the mentality that all of us have. And that's why on our daily mastermind calls, not weekly, daily mastermind calls, we are teaching the best of the best strategies to thrive in this market. So if you want to talk about getting my one-on-one help in order to take your business to the next level, just click the link in the description and we can chat on Zoom privately, yes, with me. But you really need to audit who you're surrounding yourself with. Your network is your net worth, and you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself, all these things. It's actually true. When I was hanging out with people that were not where they want to be in life or making 50, 80K a year, that's the income that I was making. When I started hanging out with people that were making much more than I did, I started making much more money, because you think you operate differently and the conversations you have only lead you to massive growth. Number 11 is going to be resilience. This is so important before we get into the last one, which is probably the most important in my opinion. Resilience is bounce back time. Things are going to go wrong, inevitably, for every one of us, myself included, on the daily. But what you want to understand is the concept of bounce back time. How quickly can you bounce back when shit hits the fan and doesn't go in your favor? You lost a listing, you lost $1 million client, a deal didn't go through, you lost a big lead, whatever the situation is. The ones that can bounce back as quickly as possible and realize that, hey, I can't change it. It is what it is. What am I going to do about it? The ones that take 5 minutes to bounce back are the ones that win. The ones that take 5 days, 5 weeks to bounce back because their friend worked with a different realtor and now they're all sad about it. Well, that just ruined your business and broke momentum for 5 weeks. And I see so many agents do that. The market tanks, interest rates go up. Top producers are saying, well, great, where's the opportunity? Let's figure it out. Weak agents, struggling agents are saying, oh my God, I'm gonna lose business. Nobody's gonna buy or sell. And they operate out of fear, right? So resilience and being resistant to negative things is so important because it's gonna happen to everyone. It's just, what are you gonna do about it? And the last thing, number 12, my favorite, personal responsibility and full accountability. Every single strong agent goes in with the mindset of everything is my fault, no matter what. Whether a deal goes sideways, whether your friend works with a different agent, whether you lose that luxury lead, whatever happens, it's always your fault. The only way you can take control of a situation is if you make something your fault. If you put the blame game on, you're not where you want to be because of your broker, your brokerage, your sponsor, your team leader, your parents, your upbringing, the economy, politics, whatever, you will never be successful. Every single strong agent takes complete, utter ownership of every aspect of their business, every aspect of their lives, because that's the only way that you can control it and make a difference. So if you're really not where you want to be, you have to look at yourself in the mirror, not looking at every other one of these external factors that you cannot control. Once you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, that's the reason why I'm not where I want to be, take full ownership of everything, find a way to make it your problem, even if it's not, that's when you're able to make calculated steps forward to improving so that you can continue to grow. So I'd love to know your opinion. If you have one of these that hits you harder than the others and one that is near and dear to your heart, or one that you just feel like, wow, I really needed to hear that today, drop a comment below and let me know, because all I want to do is see you win. And these are the things that will really help you get there. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.